information. Choosing healthy choices, providing you with sound information. Bringing balance to hormones and insulin through food. With DFL, teaching you food choices to see it through. DFL, we're teaching you to eat food right. Teaching you to pair food with each bite. Balancing our body's microbiome, feeling so right. With diet-free life, the health features lose mind.
What's up, everybody? This is Diet Free Life with Robert Ferguson. And thank you for being here. I'm excited and delighted, as always, to share information that I believe deep down in my soul will have you thinking differently and put you in a position where you can win. Now, the majority of the time, I'm talking about things relative to a diet-free life. Now, the promise of everything that I do is in the name of the brand, meaning I can help people lose weight and not feel like they're on a diet. Meaning I can show people how to eat foods in a way where they can improve their overall health and not feel like they're on a diet. And because I'm evidence-based and clinically proven, there's no pushback really, because we've done it. We've proven it. We have randomized trials. So everything that I share is substantiated and, again, evidence-based. Now, the one thing that's not 100% where it's like gravity, right? Like if I hold up this mic and let go, the mic's going to drop. That's the science of Newton's law. Now, when you talk about emotions and you talk about thinking and you talk about thoughts and you think about feelings, there's no scientific evidence, but there is a consensus of what could be helpful to a person. Now, what I share is largely because of the work that I've done, whether it's through education or work that I've done through what I believe are very creditable organizations that have strong teachings, like the University of Santa Monica, for instance. I have learned so much from them, and I didn't graduate from there, but I learned a lot. And I used the techniques and principles that I acquired from there to help me help my clients and help people when it comes to mental clarity. So I'm going to share something with you that's very elementary. I'm not going to keep your time. And if you are a health coach, do a dietitian, nutritionist, personal trainer, you're going to love what I'm about to share. If you're a client, potential client, customer, someone who's thinking about, like, I want to be successful, I want to lose this weight, I want to get off medications, I want to be healthier, you're going to love it also. And it's not things that you may not already know, but if you put energy into what I'm about to share with you, it can help you in a huge way. It can help you with weight loss. It can help you with business. It can help you with being a better person. Because we all know there's a lot of talkers out there, and I meet them all the time. We have so many talkers that most of them don't even know how to communicate. They can't even get on the phone and have a conversation with someone. Their emotions. And when you're caught up in your emotions, you're led by your emotions, and you can't rationalize things. You can't. You're cray-cray at that point. And mental health is real. All you have to do is look at how many people in the population are on SSRIs. And I'm not being mean. That's not a dig on people who are on them. I have family members and friends that are on SSRIs, antidepressants. And I know how they could get off of them. Some people don't want to get off of them. Some people just want to be. So as I always share, what I'm about to share is based on people who want to be informed. As I was talking to one of my coaches earlier today, not everybody wants to be informed. Ignorance is bliss for many people. They would rather stay in the dark than to become informed and knowledgeable. I just happen to be someone who wants to be informed. So that's my audience. My audience are people who want to be informed, or they want to be reminded of certain things that can help them today. I'm sharing information that if you have a phone call with your kid who you haven't talked to in a while, it'll give you some ideas of things to share with them that you know could leave them in a better place. I'm talking about change today. Okay. Change. Okay. Okay. You're like, what is it? What's so funny? I'm talking about change. Let's say you're in your 60s. Let's say you're a woman. Let's say your husband died. Now you're a widow. You're not really happy. You're existing. You want better, but you don't really know how to do better. You don't want to completely give up because that would be suicide, right? That would just be horrible. You don't want to be worse, but you don't really know how to change to be better. So you just go with the flow. You just follow the river. And you don't want to think about it. You don't even want to watch programs that remind you of it. You don't want to watch or listen to anything that makes you become aware that you're stagnant. So I'm talking about change. You've been overweight for a really long time. You try to lose weight, you gained it back, you get a little progress, then it goes away. Nothing seems to work. You want change, but you are stagnant. Those of you in relationships, you want your relationship to be better. You want to be more loving. You want to love your wife, or you want to love your husband like you once did. But something's wrong. Something's off. You want to change. You want to be the change that you want to see in the world, in the words of Mahatma Gandhi. But you're stagnant. You're stuck. You don't want to do anything. You don't want to take a risk. You don't want to spend any money because you forgot to believe in yourself. Now, all of this that I'm sharing, you guys, is based on the fact I want to share with you things that can help you. Now, for those of you who are coaches, nutritionists, wanting to help people and your clients, some of them are really trying and they're putting forth real efforts. And change will come. So their challenge is to be patient and stay the course and be honest. But many of your clients are not going to be successful. They're not. Because they have accepted their situation as their final situation. They are. And then those of you who don't have a coach, you're a potential customer, client, why are you still stagnant? You know your success is wrapped up in a present called change. Now, here we go. Now I'm going to share with you why I believe this is a good call. Because my goal is to give you nuggets to help you. You don't have to be my client to be successful. Everything that I'm sharing, I live and I practice. And that's why I make some people a little insecure when we have conversations. That's not about me, so I don't take it personal. I know that if they want better, they must change something. But many of those people that want change, they will say they want change. They just talk. And you don't see anything different. You got the ones that say, I want to be a better listener, but they're never a better listener. You got the ones that say, I'm going to eat better, but they never eat better. So here's the basic blueprint for success. You could be a realtor. You could be a doctor, a chiropractor, a stay-at-home mom, whatever it is that you want to achieve, you want to be better at something, something has to change. So the first word that we want to look at is change. And if you're honest with yourself, all you have to do is say, you know what, I do want to change. And if you say you want to change, then that means you have clarity of exactly what you want to change, right? You don't say, I want to change. And I say, well, what do you want to change? I don't really know, but I want to. No, you want to be clear on what you want to change. Now, there's something very critical that comes before all of that. And it's called awareness. You must become aware of what you want to change, aware of what you feel is a problem. If you're not aware, you can't change it. So step one is to become aware of what it is that you want to change, right? So whenever I coach someone, or I have a conversation with someone, or I do a presentation with a group of people like I did the other day with a bunch of really smart people, engineers, physicians, nurses. One of the things I talked about was the importance of addressing inflammation in the body when you want to improve health. And so I asked them, were they aware of omega-6 to omega-3 ratio, the balance? And they had heard the terms omega-3, and some had heard even omega-6, but they weren't completely aware of what that means and how it tied into inflammation. So that was the first step. So once I made them aware, then they all realized, well, hell, I need to find out where I'm at. And I want to make change. And that's what we're talking about. Is this making sense, everybody? And so I say that you can argue this fact, right? That the first step toward change is awareness. But you got to be aware. And once you're aware, then you want to have an understanding or clarity. And this is a step that a lot of people miss. Like they become aware, I need to lose weight. I need to lose weight. I need to lose weight. I got to change. I need to lose weight. I'm aware of I'm overweight. I'm aware that I got some problems with my health. I'm aware. And then they go right to taking action. And they miss a very important part called clarity, clear understanding before you take action. We live in a world where most people become aware. I'm aware. I want to change. I'm aware. I want to change. They take action. First thing that comes in front of them. No clarity, no understanding. Just take action. And that's where a big part of the problem is. And that's what one of my challenges is in marketing is that I like people coming to me who want to lose weight. I like people who become aware. And then as a coach, I'm going to provide them with clarity. So there's a learning curve, a little bit of education, and then their confidence gets fueled and then take action because it makes sense. There's a lot of people out there that will sell you a weight loss program because you're aware. You want to change. I want to change. I want to lose weight. I want to change. I want to change. I'm aware. I see the problem. And then they just give it to you with no clarity. You just shake your head up and down. Okay, this man. Oh, okay. You have not done any research. You have not done any due diligence. You have not even thought it through. I mean, here's an example. You're aware you're overweight. You know you want to change. Someone says keto, I'm going to do it. You didn't think it through. You didn't go, all right, before I do that, let me think. Am I going to be okay with never eating bread again? Am I going to be okay with never eating mac and cheese again? Am I going to be okay with never having rice as part of my food again? Am I going to be okay with just eating cheese primarily and meat, a little bit of vegetables here and there, and no more watermelon, no more cantaloupe, no more all the stuff I like? If you thought that through at all, you would go, nah, that's not going to work for me. That's critical thinking. That's taking a moment and thinking it through. And most people don't do that. And in a world where so many people are ADHD, they just like I've had someone recently tell me, I eat one meal a day. Intermittent fasting works for me. It's my spiritual beliefs. And they have come up with enough information, not knowing that it's setting them up for major failure. And they don't want to know the truth. Some people want to be blind. And they just want to go, and they find enough people that are saying, yeah, that's okay. Yeah, I know people who do that. And they just follow suit. They're not looking for the truth. They're not looking for like total clarity. Because if they did, they would come across Don Layman, who is like a primary authority on the importance of health, longevity. And they would learn that the guy who writes the textbooks, who is a foundation of like so much science and total clarity, that not eating breakfast for a woman over the age of 45 is one of the worst things that she could do for her health in 10, 15 years. But then again, there's people who smoke every day and they just assume everything's going to work out. Their final days will not be good. Those of you who smoke regularly every day, talk to a pulmonary expert. Ask them what your final days will be like. If you live long enough, right? Because you can get hit by a car, you can get cancer. But if you live to a decent age and you continue to smoke on a regular basis, we already know what your last days will look like. And if you looked at that, like the Scrooge, the ghost comes, the past, the ghost of the future shows you what it's going to look like. Trust me, like the Scrooge, you would be like, I think I better stop this smoking. But that's not how we are. We're not. So awareness is very important. And the people I was talking to, once they became aware of inflammation, they were like, okay, they heard me. And when they challenged it a little bit, because I said all chronic illnesses, all chronic conditions, the base of all of them is inflammation. Once they understood that that was the truth, they wanted to find out where they were. So this is a prime example of the importance of being informed. And once they became informed, and they could fact check it and all that later, or they could do it even while we're talking, they knew what they wanted to change. They wanted better. Almost all of us want better. Then I gave them clarity. See, with clarity comes confidence. Like when like when I work with a client, I know what the outcome is going to be if they do what I'm coaching them to do. I'm confident about it. 1,000%. I'm confident that if someone's on the balance well, and we're talking about improving their omega-6 to 3 ratio, which is a big part of tackling inflammation, I'm confident that in 4 months, their numbers are going to be better. They don't even got to change anything else in their life. So awareness, change. Clarity, true understanding also brings with it value in what you're doing. And then it's outcomes, results. That's it. So there's 3 things to remember as a coach or as a customer or a client or somebody who's wanting to want better. You got to become aware. Awareness and change are synonymous with each other. You got to become aware. And once you become aware, if we call it a problem or even a solution, build up clarity and understanding so you have more confidence, because the next step is to take action. So A, awareness. C, clarity. A, action. What does that spell, people? A, C, A. That's it. I'm done. Mission accomplished. If you're on the YouTube channel, make sure you like, subscribe, comment. Let me know who you are, where you are. Hey, I'm glad I caught you, Sandy. Sandy's always on top of it, and I appreciate you. You're good people. ACA is what we're talking about. Awareness, clarity. Okay, and with clarity comes understanding. Okay, awareness comes change. They're one and the same. You can go ACA, awareness, change, action. Part of changing, it helps to have total clarity. Okay, understanding. That's going to give you the confidence to do it, to take action. And after a while, that action will give you the outcomes. The results will come to you, and that will be your true clarification that the energy and effort that you put into what you do actually works. Thank you, guys. Again, this is Diet Free Life with Robert Ferguson, and I'll be back at you mañana or the next one. Peace out.
In a world of diets, there's a new way to see. No more counting calories, just living free. Robert Ferguson's got the plan you need. With Diet Free Life, it's the key. No more starving, getting rid of inflammation. Choosing healthy choices, providing you with sound information. Bringing balance to hormones and insulin through food. With DFL, teaching you food choices to see you through. DFL, we're teaching you to eat food right. Teaching you to pair food with each bite. Balancing our body's microbiome, feeling so right. With Diet Free Life, your health futures